Hello, welcome on back to my channel. I hope you are all well. With us today I have my gorgeous sister Daniela, and on her I created this really flawless golden look because I didn't want the makeup to take away from her natural beauty. If you want to learn how I created this look right here, then keep on watching. So to begin, I'm using the Cerave moisturizer lotion to prep her skin. I'm applying this with a foundation brush from the Cosmetics. Then next I'm moving on to the Hydro Grip primer from Milk, and I'm also using that to prime her face. You all know this is my holy grail. So I use the Becca primer to mattify the T-zones and to blur out any open pores, and also the rose water to spray the face for hydration. So for today we are starting off with the brows first, since in the last video I promised a detailed brow tutorial and I missed on that. Actually, I didn't like how the footages came out. So this is very simple and quite detailed. All the necessary products will be listed down in the description box. So this is me concealing. I'm using the Nuban concealer in the shade 046 actually. Yes, I'm using it to carve around the brow, and all the tools and every product will be listed down in the description box. So for foundation, I'm using the Maybelline Super Stay and the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. At this time, you all should know I love mixing foundations. And by the way, Maybelline, hi, you guys should be sponsoring me anytime soon. Right, so my sister actually has a beautiful skin, and just look at that. This is so beautiful. To contour, I'm using this L'Oreal True Match foundation in the shade Espresso. I'm using that on the cheekbones. I'm using it around the perimeter of the forehead, and I'm working the bristles of this contour brush in the product lightly and buffing into the skin. The goal is to achieve a seamless finish, and this brush is doing all the work for me. So this is me contouring the nose. Once we have that blended, I'm using the Nuban concealer in the shade 046 and the elf concealer in the shade Deep Chestnut. I'm applying this on the center of the forehead, the chin, the under eye area before blending it out. The elf concealer is serving as a transition between the highlighting and the contour, and also to give some warmth to the face. With my beauty blender, I start blending this out. I really take my time with the blending process because I want the highlight to be diffused and soft as possible as it can be, and also I want everything flawless. Look at how everything is just coming together. So once I have everything blended out the way I like, I'll go ahead and set all the highlighted places with my powder from my palette. I'm setting the under eye, the chin, and the forehead just to prevent creasing before I go ahead and bake with my setting powder. So I'm going to bake lightly under the eyes and other highlighted places with my Mercier translucent powder. Guys, you all know I'm obsessed with this powder. This process is actually going to further brighten the highlighted places, and also not forgetting a generous amount on the bridge of the nose as usual. With my MAC NW45 Studio Fix powder, I'm going to set all over her face, making sure everything is well blended and flawless. Look at how velvety and silky the skin is given. Okay, next up, I'm using the Morphe 8D Glam palette, the shade Supreme as my bronzer. I'm using the lightest amount around the perimeter of her face, so her forehead, temples, the hollows of her cheekbones, and I'm using the same shade of bronzer to contour her nose. To set all my powders and creams, I'm using the Morphe Continuous Mist to spray, and look at that. Just look at that skin. The skin is skinging. Going straight into eyeshadow, I'm using this Benign Clone White as my eyeshadow primer before I start with the eyeshadow application. I'm using the Morphe 3502 eyeshadow palette. I'm going into the shade Rich as my transition. Then after, I use the shade ORB to blend out my transition for a seamless blend. To deepen the outer corner of the crease, I'm going into the shade Wheeze, which is a soft black matte shade, and I'm blending it into the crease. Then I'm going back into the shade Rich, which was my transition, and I'm using it to blend out the darker shade. I'm going in to intensify the darker shade again. For the lid, I'm going into this bronzy metallic shade in the Nuban Beauty Wishes eyeshadow palette, and I'm just applying that with no strategy. I'm just placing that pigment and blending up and out. So just as I said in the intro, we are going for this golden flawless look, so I had to top it up with this golden pigment in the Wishes palette from Nuban Beauty. To complete the eye look, I'm adding some black liner and also add some color to the lower lash line to intensify the eye look and make everything come together. I'm applying this orangey shade blush onto the apples of the cheeks, which is going to bring some warmth and color to the face. Apparently, this brown liner and nude lip combo is just it for me. Top it up with a gloss and girl, it's on fire. Started off by lining the lips with this brown shade from the Imagic palette to create some extra definition. You all know this palette is one of my favorites. I use it for cream blush and also lip color. To brighten up the center of the lip, I'm dipping into this nude lipstick that is going to give the perfect contrast. And you guys know this wouldn't be my style of makeup without topping up with some gloss. So I'm adding a clear gloss to the bottom and top lips, making this super shiny and luscious. And for the very last step, I'm adding some highlighter to the bridge of the nose and the high point of the cheekbones. Just look at that. Girl, the skin is flawless. Everything is just coming together. And that's how we transform our naturally gorgeous model, my sister, into a pretty 24 karat damsel. And there we have it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. You can also check more of my works on IG at NAYA_NORKIE. Bye besties.